Hi, I'm Divya and thanks for joining me today. Today's tutorial is brought to you by Craftsline. For those of you who don't know, Craftsline is a provider for high quality MDF products for the craft and hobby industry. They have a wide range of trays and boxes, laser cuts, and a lot of home decor products as well. They also manufacture decoupage paper, paper crafting paper, stencils, and a lot of other accessories. If you haven't tried them out yet, I strongly urge you to give them a try. I had this idea of using their MDF Scrabble tiles and converting them into coasters. Craftsline has two types of Scrabble tiles. One that has the alphabet on them, and the other are blank tiles. The Scrabble tiles can be bought individually or as a set. My idea was to put 4 of these little tiles together to make one large coaster. I use a lot of decoupage napkins in my work, and also I tend to save little leftover pieces as well because the napkins are just so pretty and I don't have the heart to throw them out. So I have a small bag with all the scrap napkins in it. For the blank tiles, I am using some gesso as a base coat. Gesso dries pretty quickly, so in about 10-15 minutes, I'm ready for my next step. I'm using some Mod Podge and I'll be wrapping the bits of tissue around the blank tiles. Once I've completed that, I put it aside for it to dry and I'll move on to the alphabet tiles. I'm using 2 shades of Distress inks on the edges just to define the edges and bring everything together. You can see the difference between a tile that has a little bit of distress and a tile that doesn't. I repeat the process on all the tiles. Once complete, I picked a shade of brown in acrylic paint and I'm just going to paint the inside letter. I want it to stand out a little. Currently it feels a little washed out. You could assemble 4-letter words, meaningful words. I didn't do that. I just wanted to have some random letters, but you could definitely have 4-letter words and that will look very cute. So once I've painted all the tiles, I'll be adhering the tiles onto a cork sheet. Craftsline sells these cork sheets in A4 size. I will leave a link down in the description box. Do check it out. I'm using a strong adhesive to stick these down. I leave it alone for about 30 minutes, and then I can cut off the excess cork sheet. After I cut the coasters, I realized that the middle portions were not didn't stick to each other. The bottom of the tiles did, but not the sides. If that's making sense. So I just added a little more adhesive in between the tiles. I put those aside, and I am adhering the blank tiles that I decoupaged onto the cork sheet as well. Now that I think about it, the one thing I would have done differently was use distress inks on all sides of the tiles, of the individual tiles, before I stuck them down to the cork sheet, just like I did with the alphabet tiles. I think that would have helped them stand out a little bit, define the edges. So when I do this project the next time, that's the one thing that I'll do differently. I do go over the edges with the outer edges with distress ink, but I would have liked all the edges to have that little distress, if you know what I mean. The Scrabble tiles have a slightly rounded corner. The knife couldn't get that, so I'm just using a pair of scissors and cutting off the sharp edge of the cork sheet. And that's it. They're done. It's complete. All I have to do now is varnish. So we're giving 2 coats of varnish, just because I will have things spilling on it. I just want to make sure that I don't ruin them. So 2 coats. The first coat for the decoupage tiles is Mod Podge, but for the raw MDF alphabet tiles, you could directly use a wood varnish. I apply an even coat of varnish on, and I let them dry, preferably overnight. These things do dry to touch immediately in maybe 10-15 minutes, but I would prefer to leave them overnight. Once they're nice and dry, I go over all the coasters with another coat of wood varnish. Wood varnish because it's heat resistant. So if I just left the Mod Podge coasters as is, a hot cup of coffee will reactivate Mod Podge, and then they tend to get sticky. But wood varnish will ensure that doesn't happen. That's why the last coat is always wood varnish. So that's it. That was a simple project. I had a lot of fun. If you do try these out, then I'd love to see them. Thanks for watching, you guys. Bye bye.